Welcome to this BTV Right Now update. I'm Brian Berard. Saturday featured a traffic nightmare for drivers around the intersection of Plymouth and Spring Street. A pickup truck crashed into a telephone pole near Burrell Ave next to the site of Skip's Liquors. The driver of the vehicle was a teenage male whose truck was registered in Tewksbury, was taken to the hospital. Traffic was detoured for the day, knocking out power for a few hours. At their November 21st meeting, the council had a lot on their plate, including the Home Rule Charter, which included changes to the stipends, length of service, and the town clerk position. According to the proposed charter changes, a councillor could receive a $3,000 stipend and striking the portion of the charter that describes term limits.
We aren't forced to accept a stipend. If the town is in dire straits, the charter says that there will be a line item that says $27,000, but as councillors, we don't have to cash that check, or whoever's sitting here in 3, 4, 5 years. That's the answer, right? If the town's in bad shape, what councillor in his right mind is going to take that stipend?
However, there's one change, or should I say omission, that I'm greatly concerned about, and that's the complete removal of Section 2-12B, which addresses term limits for the town council. For those of you unfamiliar with this section, it used to read as follows. No person shall be eligible to be elected as a member of the town council if, at any point during the term of office for which the person may be elected, the service of the eligible person would exceed 12 consecutive years on the town council. So my question is this: is it your collective view that 4 terms is not enough for a town councilor? As one of the original authors of the charter, I can tell you that the intent of the writing of the charter was to give our elected councilors adequate time, that being 12 years, to serve and make a difference in the community. But we certainly did not intend that being a town councilor would be a potential lifetime position. Term limits would help to better attract active and involved members of the community who are not able to make a long-term commitment to serve. In other words, term limits would allow busy citizens to serve the community and bring fresh new ideas that they may not otherwise been able to share had they been required to make a longer-term commitment.
The other hot-button issue on the charter was changing the town clerk from elected to appointed.
I don't think we need to change things if they're not broken. So I am absolutely adamant that I hope you decide to go against the change to an appointed position. Again, I value this form of government. One of the things that you always hear is that this form of government takes away a voice, and I think tonight it showed that it doesn't. But I think anything that we do when it comes to taking a vote away that somebody's had in the past will be taken as something against this form of government, and I don't think this is the time or the place.
Mary Lee Kenny Hunt sent the councilors a statement opposing the change.
While I appreciate the time and effort expended by the Charter Review Committee and the Rules and Procedures Committee to set forth these many excellent corrections and changes, I strongly oppose the change proposing the elected town clerk become an appointed town clerk. I oppose the change regardless of the designated appointing authority. As I have explained before, there is no advantage gained by the town in taking away citizens' rights to elect a town clerk. It is important that the, quote, face of the town be a citizen, her or himself.
Some of the questions brought up in that statement included the handling of an appointed town clerk and different processes regarding their job. Councillor Colin Botus and Gallagher tried to make amendments against the clerk being appointed, but they both failed. The full charter will be sent to the state legislature for approval before coming back to the town for a final vote. We'll have much more from the meeting coming up on Bridgewater this week. Also coming up in the program, we will introduce you to a Bridgewater resident who is proving that a simple act can make a huge difference and the inspiration behind his goodwill. Plus, we'll give you a recap of the BR Pep Rally with some new champs taking part.
The Tuesday after Thanksgiving is designated as Giving Tuesday, a day earmarked for doing for others or donating to charitable causes. And while we might think that giving only benefits the recipient of the gift, according to Dr. Joseph Rock, a psychologist at Cleveland Clinic, that's not entirely the case. He says our brains experience joy when we are the giver too. John Luck has more.
The same part of your brain gets activated when you do charitable giving or engage in altruistic behavior. So we really do get, biochemical, physical pleasure from doing things for other people.
Dr. Joseph Rock of the Cleveland Clinic says that people used to think that if you do something nice, that it only counts if there isn't something in it for you. However, he says that there's always something in it for us. It doesn't mean that's the reason that we do charitable things, but it's a nice added benefit. Previous research has shown that the reward center of our brain actually lights up when we give to others. Dr. Rock says that human beings are essentially wired to give, and whenever something we do feels rewarding, the more likely we are to do it. And regardless of what we're giving, he says our own view of what we're doing makes us feel better about ourselves. If we see ourselves behaving in a way that's closer to the way we want to be, the closer to our ideal selves, we feel automatically good about that. Dr. Rock says isolation is scary for people, but being a part of something feels good.
There's just something about engaging with other people in our environment that reminds us we're not alone, and while we're helping the other people, it reminds us they're going to be there to help us too, and we're part of something bigger.
Dr. Rock says that we don't have to give much to reap the rewards of giving. He says the good feelings will still happen for us, even if it's a small gesture or even the giving of our time. For BTV Right Now, I'm John Luck.
This is a site that at first may look a little concerning. Sunday afternoon around 4 p.m., residents from Bridgewater and surrounding communities saw this site. However, to those in the weather world, this may not be much to worry about. Jeff Fowler has this in our extended forecast.
Officials from the National Weather Service believe a hole punch cloud, also known as a fall streak, caught the attention of many residents on Sunday afternoon. This photo was taken near the East Bridgewater line. Hole punch clouds are more common in the winter season when water droplets in the air are supercooled. The droplets eventually form as ice crystals and are then moved by airplanes. Although they can sometimes look like a funnel, they are actually horizontal shaped. Looking at the remainder of the week, our quiet weather continues. We will see a chance of some light rain or showers accompanying a cold front overnight Thursday night into Friday. Otherwise, it should be dry and cooler over the weekend as an ocean storm should remain offshore.
Thanks, Jeff. All right, I'm here with John Luck. And John, Bridgewater Rainham got another victory in the Cape Cod Cafe Cup, this time winning 36-15 on Thanksgiving Day over the Brockton Boxers. John, we had the fortune of calling this game with Brockton Community Access, one of the great events that we get to do with BCA. And John, what were your takeaways from this game?
Well, there's very little that BR did wrong. You look at the offensive side of the ball, they scored something like 20 points, give or take, in the first half. They were really clicking on all gears in the first half. The second half, you could tell the intensity started to die down a little bit for the BR Trojans. Defensively in the first half, I mean, they were seamless except for maybe a couple plays here and there where they didn't wrap up Jose Montero. But besides that, this was a very impressive performance by the BR Trojans, and a great way for these seniors to go out on top.
Yeah, absolutely. And when we talked about it before the game, you know, there was no Bryce Shaw in the game. You really didn't see much of Devontae Graves, but you saw William Lombard coming in and had a great game for the Trojans. And you said it on the broadcast, he's kind of that continuation of Bridgewater Rainham running backs. What did you see in William Lombard that day?
Well, I think with William Lombard, you're seeing a continuation of the BR running game, a running back that goes more off tackle. I think maybe when he gets into his junior year, his senior year, maybe he'll be like a Devontae Graves, go straight through the middle. But, you know, for a sophomore running back to get 2 touchdowns on Thanksgiving morning, that's very impressive and a good sign of things to come for the BR Trojans, because there's going to be a lot of question marks. We thought there were a lot of question marks coming into this year. Just wait for next year.
Thank you for watching this BTV Right Now update. I'm Brian Berard.